Hi there, adventure seekers. RV internet update time. It's been a while since we did our last one, and we've made some pretty significant changes, and we're looking to make some more. So what are the changes? Well, find out right after this.
You make me understand this place in a whole different way. You make me wanna live this life to the fullest, to the fullest.
First, let's do a quick review of what we had in our last video. We had still the Cradle Point router, the TP-Link router, Nomad Internet for AT&T service, and we had Visible for our Verizon service. And we've made some slight changes there that I think you're going to be impressed with and you're going to want to get yourself. The biggest change we've gone through is we have gotten Sprint 5G hotspot from the Calyx Institute. Now, who's the Calyx Institute? They're nonprofit dedicated to internet security and privacy. And through a deal they had with Sprint, which is now T-Mobile, they were able to sell very low cost internet through Sprint, well, now T-Mobile. And recently, in the last few months, that includes a 5G hotspot, the M2000 right here. And the best part is it is uncapped and it is unthrottled and it is unlimited. That's right, you have super fast 5G, and T-Mobile 5G network is continually expanding across the United States. And we just came from a very long trip that started in Mississippi and ended in Mississippi, but it took us almost 7 months to get back to Mississippi. We went straight up north, wiggled through some states, Pacific Northwest, California, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico. And almost every place we went had 5G T-Mobile, even Quartzsite. So what does T-Mobile 5G look like? Well, it gives you up to 300 megabyte in download speeds. And I've seen 50 or 60 upload speed. So it's extraordinarily fast. Where I'm sitting right now in Gulfport, Mississippi, I just did a speed test, and we'll show you, well, it'll be here. Right here is the speed test. 257.39 megabits download speed, 24.07 upload, and a ping rate of 55, which is kind of high but not terrible for cellular Wi-Fi. And that's pinging a server in Lake Buena Vista, Florida, which is Orlando, which is quite a ways away from here. And I just let it pick whatever server it wanted to pick. I always use speed test to test these things out. So, oh, what? Oh, you don't believe those numbers were real and I just made them? Well, let's cut to the PC and let's do a real-time test, shall we? So as you can see here, that's the speed test I just ran. So we're going to go ahead and run it again. See if, and it's going to do the same server, so we'll just let it roll. Ooh, got a little bit better ping time. And then there we go. Climb, climb, climb. Go on, you can do it. 250, 250, give me 250. There we go. And uploads creeping very close to 30, only over 25. 28.79. While we're here looking at this, let's take a quick look at what the speeds look like on whatever the Cradle Point's connected to right now. I don't know if it's using Verizon or if it's using AT&T. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to the Cradle Point. So I'm going to go ahead and click speed test instead of hitting the go. Oh, we're using AT&T here. Where we're at, well, I don't know about AT&T because I don't have anything that's 5G for AT&T, but my Verizon phone is 5G and it doesn't see any 5G in this area. And we're pinging Georgia now, so that's actually a little bit closer. Ping's a little worse. Woo, look at that download speed. We hit 3 there for a second. 3, not 250 or 250, but 3. And let's see what our upload speed's going to be. Upload speed's decent. I can live with that. That's the difference between T-Mobile and AT&T. Verizon is probably going to be worse than AT&T simply because the Cradle Point picks the fastest one by default. So now you're probably asking yourself, how in the world do I get this blazing fast speed and how much is it going to cost me? I know it cost like $150 a month for the AT&T through Nomad Internet or through just about any other reseller. Visible's still a good deal at $25. You can also, for that same price, get a 5G phone and use on Visible. Unlimited, uncapped. And some sad news I've been hearing more and more of, so I kind of think it's true, it's also on Visible's website, is they are no longer uncapped. They have a 5 megabyte download limit. So that's not very helpful, obviously. No reason to get 5G. You can get a 5G Visible phone now. The service won't cost you any more. It'll still be $25 a month if you're on a full party plan. But 5 megabytes, no reason to go buy a 5G phone. So how much is it going to cost to have this blazing fast, unlimited, uncapped, unthrottled 5G T-Mobile service? Well, we just go over to the Calyx Institute, and their website is calyxinstitute.org. Link to that's in the description below as well. Tells you about some of the things they do. Mobile internet. They also have a special phone with their own operating system on it, Android based. And so let's go check out the mobile internet, where you can click on join now. So here's your options. You can be a friend, a contributor, or a sustainer level. And if you want the 5G hotspot, then you are going to be a sustainer. And the only option to pay for this is annual. You can't pay quarterly. The first year is going to be $750 total. That includes the M2000 MiFi, and then every year after that is $500. So that works out about $41 a month. Or you can look at it as $41 a month for the first year, and you're paying $250 for the MiFi device. That's cheap. I hear people talk all the time about using FMCA's Sprint plan. Well, their Sprint plan is $50 a month, and it's 4G. So do you want to pay $50 a month for 4G or $41 a month for 5G? I think that answer is obvious. Cheaper and a whole lot faster. 4G, you're going to get around 30, 40 megabytes download. 5G, up to 300. And it's like $8 or $9 cheaper. No brainer. And another benefit with going with the Calyx Institute, well, it is a nonprofit. So that means a portion of the money you give them actually goes to support them, so it's tax deductible. And in the case of getting the 5G MiFi, the tax deductible amount is $256. So that's tax deductible off that $750 you bought. Looks nicer and nicer, doesn't it? I just run two different networks. One through the Cradlepoint router, which has the Visible and the Nomad AT&T Verizon connections. And then I run a separate network for T-Mobile. And that's what we're doing, because the price to get a 5G cellular router is like $600. And I'd rather wait and spend that money on Starlink once Starlink becomes fully mobile. And what I mean by fully mobile is where you can actually go anywhere in the country. So, because until that happens, I really can't use Starlink exclusively, and I haven't got it yet. And I'm glad, because I haven't really had a need for it, and they've already changed equipment, and they haven't come out yet with their mobile equipment yet. So I'm just going to wait for all that to come out before purchasing Starlink. But I'm definitely going to buy Starlink when it hits a wider spread of availability in the United States. But that's the big news, the Calyx Institute. It's not anything brand new. It's not anything that's earth-shattering. It's been around for a while. The 5G MiFi spot, I think, has been around for like 7 or 8 months through the Calyx Institute. So I highly recommend doing that. Running two different networks is really not a big deal. We try to stick with T-Mobile most of the time anyway because of the speed, but there are a tiny few places that we've been where either T-Mobile didn't work at all and there was no signal, or it was slow compared to AT&T or Verizon. So we just have everything connected to T-Mobile usually, and if we need to change it, we'll connect it to the Cradlepoint router. All of our home automation stuff, our TVs, our Ring doorbell, the Amazon Echo devices, and some other things, they're all by default connected to our 5 gigahertz internal network, which I get through the TP-Link router. Don't confuse 5G cellular with 5G for a home network. For cell service, 5G stands for 5th generation. For home routers and stuff like that, 5G is 5 gigahertz, and that's the operating frequency that gives you faster speeds than the older 2.4 gigahertz. And most home routers will give you both 2.4 and 5 gigahertz networks, because some devices today, they don't have 5G connectivity. But I want to hear from you. What are you guys using for internet in your RV or mobile solution? Also, if you'd like to help us help Christian-based veterans charities, there's a link in the description below to the many different ways you can help. Remember, all the money we make off our social media platforms goes directly to a Christian-based veterans charity. We don't keep a dime for ourselves. So our new setup is the same as the old setup, but we've added a new internal network for the T-Mobile hotspot. So that's really the only change, and I think that's probably going to be the only change going forward until Starlink is up and running. So as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope this helps. If you have any questions about any of the setup or any of the stuff we talked about here, drop me a note in the comments below. Don't forget to drop me that note. Tell me what you're using and why you like it, because you may have a better idea than I do. So thank you guys so much for watching, and may your next journey be an epic adventure. Bye.